Well done, boys. In, baby. And new babies.
She was old and neglected, so we cut her to bare holes and built her up from the ground with our blood, sweat and tears.
So follow our journey as we plan to sail her to new destinations and make lasting memories.
That's the only way to get that high, always.
Got this hallway ready for us to bring the engines up and in. Ready to pick it up to that swim platform. It's over 2 meters. We need to bring it up to 7 feet onto there, over the winches, put it down here, cut it out of the crate, and then in we go. Maybe I'm gonna take the door off. Still haven't decided 100%. Let's see if we can wiggle. And Simone is.
It was time to finally put our engines in our engine bays with the help of Gras, JP, Graham, Rob and Moses. We used a combination of manpower and the pulleys from our davit system to help hoist up our engines.
Number 1 is on. Woo! Well done, boys.
Jumping from a roof that is almost too high.
We've got the 2 engines on the boat at the moment. One's sitting on the back of our swim platform. Second one's in the cockpit here. And now we're going to take the bottom of the crates off. And then I'm going to put the engine mounts on it now, so that when we go in, we've got a point where the engines can lie on, and we can slide it back and forward to hook up with the sail drive. But that is a pretty sight, man. Pretty sight.
I will give you a struggle, give you a struggle. If you're looking for trouble, I am the needle who will burst your bubble, yeah. 'Cause I don't wanna fight pieces for
I have to go to gym after this.
if you're looking for trouble, you better come on. I will give you a struggle, give you a struggle.
The first engine was in, woohoo! Then it was time to put in our second one.
Mooi man. Thanks, gents.
How's die foute?
How's it?
Dis sharp, né? Lekker.
In, baby.
Yeah, Pian.
I'm stoked. You might be wondering why the engine's so high. And it's not actually, it's just that, well, it is obviously high, but it's that I've set the engine mounts to the highest possible so that we wouldn't pinch our hands once the bar gets to this level. So now we'll adjust the engine mounts down to where they're supposed to be and fit in the sail drive. Shift it forward, sail drive in. So we've got the sail drive in here and the engine in there. What I'm doing is now running all the bolts for the sail drive and just adding a bit of marine grease on them, so that if there's ever to prevent corrosion and stuff. So that should give us no problems taking them out whenever we need to service it. So I'll place them all with some grease on them into each hole and tighten it down. We'll tighten them down in sequence, which is crucial on a diameter that we can get a perfect kind of seating on it. I think it's a good time to kind of catch up on the things, on the smaller stuff to do. And one of them is putting in the instrument panel over there. So the 2 instrument panels, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then control panels on the other side. I'd like to put it up front, but there's no space, so it's going to go in there for now. Well, it's actually going to go there permanently. Let's get to it. I've just marked it out. Drilled a couple of holes in the corner. I'm not sure where the templates are for these things. I know it's somewhere, but with all the rearranging and packing and the boat's kind of tight, I must have lost the template, so I just measured out the box. Drilled a couple of holes in the corner and then gonna cut it out with a jigsaw. With that, get some killer lunch. Thanks, baby cakes.
You're welcome.
Suddenly you're on the floor, and I left my heart with you. There is
And new babies.
Thanks, Elsa, for bringing our props.
It would have been cool to get some folding props, but yeah, the cost of folding props was just phenomenal compared to a normal 2-blade fixed prop. And obviously you have to do research about the props if you want to know all the different benefits and whatnot, but for our boat, whatnot, all the prop guys recommended go for these for now, but maybe one day in the far future we'll change them to folding props, but we're happy with these for now. We're going to try them on for the first time. So that grey you see is the extra epoxy coat that we put over the legs. Oh damn! We're supposed to have a 10% prop clearance over there, and we actually have a 20% prop clearance, so we've got nice prop clearance, and our keel is actually below this line, so yeah, it's perfect. It's gonna work very well.
We beached the boat still?
We can still beach the boat, no problem. Yeah, we're pretty much not gonna have any hassles. It's the same as all the other Deans. They've got 2 engines. They can beach the boats. We can run it up onto a beach, and obviously just be careful doing it in any case because of rocks and stuff. And then the Boca, baby.
Oh yeah. All the people who said that Wales is gonna win.
Yeah, sorry to the New Zealanders. We still love you guys, but 4 years time we'll see you guys again.
With the Tornado Finals! It's England. How do you seal the sail drives? Like, how do you prevent water from going through the hole that you created there for the sail drive?
So as everyone knows, we made 2 big holes in the bottom of the boat, and the way that we seal them is the gearbox with the sail drive. So the top reduction box and the sail drive are mated together, and they've got 2 rubber flanges, one on top and one at the bottom. They act as 2 sealing mechanisms. One seals the lower unit to the gearbox, and the second seals the base of the unit where they meet up together to the mounting base plate, or which now is part of the hull. So that's how it seals. So it doesn't. This hole, water is going to go in this hole, but the top area is the seal. I'll actually show you what it looks like.
So it will pretty much just go to the top, but it won't be able to go into the engine
pretty much.
bed.
And then what comes on here is just a rubber flange seal that closes this cavity up, just so that nothing goes inside. There will be permanently dark and reduce the growth inside there. But what we are going to do is we've already epoxied inside there. We sprayed epoxy everywhere. We are going to clean that out, do another coat of epoxy inside there, and then we'll anti-foul inside there and put the boot on with it, just to kind of give us some more protection. These are 1611 props, and that was the recommendation from the prop manufacturer for these sail drives, our tonnage, all of the specs that we gave them was a 1611. All we need to do is put on our little cones.
Will you be able to service the engines and everything from inside the engine compartment?
Yeah, obviously that's how you service the engines, from inside. Super easy. I'll show you guys when we come up for the first service. It's in like 50 hours, I think. I'm gonna go directly according to the Vetus manual for that, and our first oil change on the sail drive will be in 50 hours, and then thereafter every 250 hours or 1 year.
There is a good amount of space in our engine bays to service, do anything you need to do. Pretty chuffed with how everything's turned out, and now we just got to run the fuel lines again, and all the other lines for the engine, and fit fuel filters and all those stuff. So we also came back from a good little holiday. It was my brother's wedding, like I said before. It was really nice. We went down to Belito as well because my cousins from the States came over, but you will be introduced to them at a later stage. And we watched the rugby. It's been an all good rest week. Now we're getting down to business and getting this puppy in the water. So finishing our engines, anti-fouling, name, bloop, off we go.
You know what this means, baby. We're getting
plugging
some
your engine.
These are pretty nice connectors. What it means, the only thing I don't like about this is obviously how broad it is. You need to drill quite a big hole. That one's much smaller.
So that connects into your, what do you call it?
This will go to our instrument panel.
Instrument panel, there we go.
So that gets mounted like that. The female to female on the instrument, and then male to male. And the female just has a hole, and the male looks like this. The example, that's a female connector, and that's a male connector. It makes sense. So that will go to our top panel, and our top panel will go to the port side engine. And then once everything is done and I got the new bolt, there's this engine compartment also going to have its own bilge pump. So we're adding another bilge pump into this compartment because this is in a sense completely sealed off from the rest of the boat. So this is a bulkhead that we put in the beginning. If you haven't checked it out, check it out in the first episodes. So we put a bulkhead in here. So if this had to flood for some reason, it would only flood this compartment. It can't come over. We're going to make sure that everything stays sealed, and the holes that we drill through to go to that side are above the water line, well above the water line. So once we drill that hole, plug that in, put the instrument here, plug that in. That means our first engine's officially wired up. Done. Start with the controls. Run our 2 cables, our Morse cables, to here. One takes 2 cables to each engine. One goes to the throttle, and one goes to the gearbox. So one engages drive and throttle, reverse throttle, and then diesel fuel lines to each engine. One is the supply. It goes from the fuel tank through the filtration system to the engine, and then one goes from the return from the diesel pump, because it uses the diesel to lubricate the diesel pump, and then it returns back into the engine tank. And then the tank's got a vent that vents out to the back of the boat.
If you dig this episode, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe below.
And if you would like to support our production, you can do so by clicking on any of the links in the description below.
And make sure you stay tuned to next week's episode, where we hopefully fire up these engines. Cheers.